Hi there, everyone. Thank you so very much for your patience with this reading. Oh my goodness, it is an intense one. I am absolutely feeling it. I'm feeling it. It's at the peak, actually, right? Right as we speak, more or less. It's been about 10 minutes or so that it's been culminated for us here. But let's get right into it, right? Well, Scorpio, full moon in Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, ruled by Mars, is a very sort of intense energy. Very intense energy. And when we think of Scorpio, right, we think of the Death card in the Major Arcana deck. And that speaks to transformation, uprooting, transmutation of an old world, old energies that do not align with that future, that vibration, that highest vibration, that truest form of ourselves that we seek to bring into reality, into manifestation. And so it was interesting because before I turned on the camera, I was looking for the Death card, right? And so I found it and I picked it out. But it had beneath it, right, the Magician. So 2 cards popped out for you. And to characterize the sort of theme, right, of this full moon in Scorpio. Really, right, there's this alluding to the extroversion and introversion simultaneously. So the full moon being very extroverted sort of disposition, right, of energy. Scorpio is introverted, right, water sign, deep, right, plutonic energy that digs beneath the surface and unearths, right, what is hidden to the eye. So it's interesting, right? Because it's the sort of culmination, as we can see it, the ultimate revelation, the ultimate unearthing of whatever that truth may be for you, that paves the way to the path of alchemy. Okay, the Magician. And it's a process, right? It's a process. I'll turn it right side up here. You see all elements on this card. You see the sword, you see the pentacle, you see the chalice, you see the wand. But it's the balance, right, that's brought about by way of the renewal of self, of how we see ourselves, how we have seen ourselves, how that vision differs from how we want to see ourselves, right? Of reaching our potential and the recognition of what holds us in that old vibration in some shape or form, what we need to transmute in order to ready ourselves for this transformation of self. And matter, right? The creation of matter that initiates the whole process of this new beginning. So, Scorpio, beautiful. Well, everyone rather, right? That is the scorpionic sort of energy. And we're all under the influence of it. We all have Scorpio somewhere in our chart. So, let us see what this full moon of culmination brings for us. And we will start with Scorpio. Hi there, Scorpio. Thank you so very much for your patience. It is the peak of the full moon in this exact moment. I'm so happy to have been able to time it for you in this way. Let us see what energies there are for you on this very special day. Did not plan that rhyming at all, but let's flow with it. Okay. Scorpio, coming out with truth in some shape or form to yourself, to others, aligning with your sense of intuition, you've been so patient with this process, whatever it has been. Oh my goodness, have you been patient? Okay, you have been waiting for the time during which the circumstances would be favorable for you to enter this sort of new world, this new dimension, one of which you're very passionate. Temperance looking over at the Three of Wands in reverse. Right? Temperance speaking to patience, the tempering of our fire, our flame, our passion, our drive. There's this uprising, Six of Wands, if you can see that in the light. Right? By way of the speaking of our truth, we transform. Our environment transforms. Right? We shapeshift. And from there, right, we are boundless in what we know, in what we seek, in what we achieve. High Priestess. Now, beneath the Six of Wands, you have the World in reverse. The world is waiting for you. The time is now. That's what I'm getting. The time is now, where you've been ruminating, where you've been, right, planning, strategizing what is going to be the most stable, right, way for me to I'm gonna get back on footing. Something about gaining a sense of footing, foothold. Something about foothold, which you've desired for so very long. Nine of Cups beneath the 3. 3 times 3, 9. You're now, right? You're realizing it starts with me. It starts with what I hold back in some kind of way, and what I channel, what I express. Why I even come into alignment with in and of myself. Okay, so it doesn't have to necessarily be speaking out to someone about something. It could start simply with the realization of truth, the realization of how you feel about something in and of yourself, which liberates you. And it's from that movement and that motion. So many airplanes for you, Scorpio. That you're able to pursue the world of your desires. Okay. But the emphasis on motion and movement is integral here. Okay, integral. I'm also getting a state of rumination. Also very similar, right? This card, Seven of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Very similar sort of color palette, tone. Right? It's this feeling of feeling somewhat distraught, feeling confused, feeling right at odds with our environment. Okay, there's a certain recklessness to these energies, especially the Five of Wands. Seven of Swords, though, right, in its own way, it's this internal chaos, it's this internal dissonance that you realize, right, it's time to unplug. It's time to unplug from that world and to get moving, right, motion. The possibilities lie outside of the realm of this enclosure, whatever that may mean to you, Scorpio. This enclosure of the mind, though. I'm getting that strongly. Okay, now. I'm getting here. Look at this, Scorpio. You're going from a 7 to a 6. 7 is being unplugged. The 6 is what's taking flight. So it's almost like it's been a state of rumination. It's been a state of planning, right? It's stages almost, right? It's a very sort of sequential energy here on the Seven of Swords card. Six of Wands is, right, just letting go, releasing, just being, just flowing and just going with what drives you. Okay. Now, you have another 6 here in your deep past, 6 of Pentacles. You have the Mother of Pentacles in your recent past. You have the Five of Swords upright in your current state. You have the Father of Cups in your advice, which is swimming over into the Fool in reverse, a brand new start and beginning for you, Scorpio, absolutely. And it is the full moon in your own sign, so right, not surprised to see that come through. But the Fool and the Father of Cups are making eye contact. Okay, we'll get to that. But the Five of Pentacles in reverse, in your hopes and or fears, Mother of Cups in reverse in your final outcome, Temperance upright in your environment, Three of Wands, but I almost said Swords. So, strategy and implementation. Okay, something about the finalization of what has been ruminated on heavily, okay, is now coming into form in some kind of way. Becoming real. You're taking the first steps. You're taking those steps to manifestation and fruition, whatever that may be for you, Scorpio. And what I'm getting here, strongly, is a theme of progress. But again, right? Not the progress by way of just the internalization, right? The mental clarity. I'm zeroing in on my quartz crystal stone. Right? That inner form of clarity that is brought about by way of thinking and ruminating. It's the clarity of seeing, right, what we imagine, what we dream of, what we desire, what we've wanted, right, and realizing that it's the action that's taken once and for all. The transformation of self, really, right? That gives us that free escape. That reminds us that our dreams may be boundless, are boundless, and totally achievable. Right? But this needs to happen first. I need, right, to be free to pursue other worlds, other dimensions. I need to be light. There's an airiness here. There's absolutely an airiness here. So where, right, air element as well, Seven of Swords, where in the past maybe my propensity, right, to channel my intellectual mind in a certain way has held me down, ironically enough, right, air is light, but our thoughts can hold us back. They're intangible, technically, right? Everything is energy. But, right, it's like, you recognize, finally you're like, wait a second, like, I'm holding myself back. By not speaking my truth, by not aligning, right, mind, body, soul, right, with what is my truth, I'm holding myself back in some way, perhaps. Scorpio. What's interesting is that there's a degradation in number for you here. You have a 7 and then you have a 6. And then you have a 6 and then you have a 5. And then you have the Fool. So it's like going back to the basics. Something about going back to the basics. Getting to the core, getting to the root of an issue, of a process. And it's almost like, well, let's do this again, right? Let's start over. Let's get ready to prepare for the entry into this new world, into this new dimension. It's otherworldly. Oh my goodness, it's otherworldly, Scorpio. Whatever this new beginning is, it's like, it has no blueprint. Okay, it has absolutely no blueprint. It's of your own making. It's of your own dreaming, Scorpio. Mother of Cups is motioning over to the future. And it can kind of be seen in tandem, right, with this Three of Wands. So it's like the directorship of your dreams. The directorship. You're realizing you are writing the script. You're writing the script, Scorpio, to this world, to this dimension that you want to enter. To this future. You're realizing that you're creating the future. You create the future every day, every moment of every day. So, Okay. Let me tune in for you, Scorpio. 1 second. So it's interesting because you have the Father of Cups and then you have the Mother of Cups, a pair, both moving in the future, sort of direction of these energies, but there's like this face-off at the very root, at the very base, in the center of your spread between the Father of Cups, heavy, heavy water, emotional energy, and the Fool. Vulnerable, right? In pursuit of its truth. Release, surrender. Realizing that a brand new awakening awaits them. I feel this is like the two halves of your being. I feel that it's like you're making peace once and for all with a certain propensity. Okay, with a certain propensity that regards the emotional realm. That perhaps it's like these heavy emotions, right? Is it time to cycle through them? Is it time to transmute them? I'm zeroing in on my tourmaline, black tourmaline crystal, speaking of that energy in and of itself, right? That transmutation, okay, of negative to positive. Right? To transmute and to channel my emotions in a way that speaks to release, in a way that liberates me and allows me to create by way of my emotions. Mother of Cups, right? The directorship. It's a very proactive sort of channeling of the water element that we see with the Mother of Cups, especially when seen in tandem with the Three of Wands. Okay, so you are in some shape or form saying goodbye to an old world, an old side of yourself, an old being, an old way, right? It's like you're shaking your feathers off, okay? But you're taking one last very close look at yourself in the mirror, okay? To realize where you've been, where you are now, and where you want to go. It's like that reflective sort of moment of truth, of complete honesty, right? The feeling I'm getting here for you is, it's like it's like, a child going off to their first day of school, right? And parent is like, puts their backpack on them, right? I'm getting like a backpack vibe, I don't know, with this fool, this little baby bird, right? He's got like a little, like hunched over, got a little backpack on. Imagine it, right? And the parent is like, the school bus has come to pick up the child. And the parent is like, right, looking at their child, right, with that feeling of knowing that they're growing up. That after this moment in time, right, nothing will be the same. This marks the beginning of a brand new cycle. And so it can be a little sentimental, right? It can be a little bit emotional, of course, absolutely, right? But it's the realization that you are your own child. We all have a child. We are all children. Right? That child deep inside of us. And it's the acceptance, right? That child needs to grow, needs to transform, needs to experience certain experiences in order to progress, right? And it's ultimately the letting go of that, the release of that, for the desire for inner transformation. That self-love, the love of what you love, so much so that you release it, you surrender to it. Right? And it's like sometimes, right, loving isn't, true love is not about holding on and controlling, and right, it's not about having even, or knowing. It's about accepting, right? Appreciating, acknowledging whatever that person or that thing needs, right? In order to transform and grow, to reach their greatest potential. So, right, and there's that saying, right? If you love the bird, right, let it go. If it's meant to be yours, it'll fly back to you, right? All 2 birds here, Scorpio. So it's the waving, right? Simultaneous waving from the child to the parent to the child. There's this parting of ways. There's this realization, right? That so much awaits you, Scorpio. And so much of what you've wanted awaits you. Okay, so much of what you've wanted. And it's the shedding of this a layer, okay, that's happening in an enchanting way. Oh my goodness. Like the feeling is like heart palpitations, right? It's like first day of school feeling. Okay, first day of school feeling, Scorpio. What am I going to go create? Oh my God, I have all my pencils and colored pencils in my backpack, different colored paper, right? Like construction paper and right, a stamp kit and stickers. Like, I want to go to school. I want to, right? It's like that feeling, that exhilarated sort of feeling. It's that nervousness, but it's good. It's good. Right? Yes, you have to like wave goodbye, right, to your parents, but the pull and the gravitation towards that new experience and that new beginning is so very strong that you're ready, right, to make peace with this older dimension of living. And so, Scorpio, you've wanted this. Okay, it's like you've been like in your room, like I see you as in your room, okay, for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and you have this backpack. It's something about a backpack, Scorpio, okay? On the Fool's wearing a backpack, like something about a backpack, right? But, and you like every day, okay, you're like, you look in your room and you're like deciding, okay, do I want to do it for the first day of school on, right, like, whatever date, okay? Do I want to bring this colored pencil set? Do I want to bring those erasers, the scented erasers or the regular erasers, right? And so you're literally like you're packing, and so it's this feeling, right, that the day is now coming very soon for you to zip that backpack up and put things into action. And there's a childness to it. Like something about it is playful, something about it is youthful, and it speaks to that inner dimension that is so young and authentic. Okay, I'm getting that strongly. Young and authentic specifically for you, Scorpio. Now, the 7 of Swords, Scorpio, is like something about it. It's sliding off of the theme. It's like, we're really done with this. aren't we? Like, well, this is so irrelevant, right? It's so polar, this propensity to this budding energy, right, that is uprising for you, this transformation. Again, the desire is so very strong. And so, let's see here, Scorpio. Current state is the Five of Swords. Okay, it's the Five of Swords, which is interesting because the one sword on this card is pointing in the direction of the past. The Mother of Pentacles in reverse and the Six of Pentacles upright. So, there's this need to confront the past. There's this need to confront what has held us down, right? The Mother of Pentacles is right at the base of the Six of Wands. So where we see this heavy, heavy sort of fixed energy. Protective, right? Yet again, protective over what we right, feel. Or what we even feel we align with. I'll say that, Scorpio, as well. What we feel that we align with. Ideologies, so on and so forth. Right? We release. We realize, right, that it's time once and for all to realize, right, to clearly disseminate what ideologies, what self-talk, okay, what sort of thinking habit patterns have shaped the state of stagnancy, of waiting, okay, waiting for change, but not taking the action towards it, right? So it's like, what you're getting really clear, really, really honest, really, really, you're getting to the foundation of that revelation. Okay, whatever it is for you, Scorpio. Even if it means, right, facing a certain vulnerability within you. The truth, right, in and of itself, resembles that state of vulnerability, the opening up, the self-expression. But it's realizing, right, that by way of doing that, we can understand ourselves, understand our environment, what holds us back in some way, and we can transmute that, right? By knowing it, by seeing it, by understanding it, we're somehow in the light. Right? We're in the light. Which is interesting because you see here the Six of Pentacles, somewhat in the dark. It's like glow-in-the-dark plant. Okay, that's kind of the feeling here. So it's like there's been growth of some kind, okay, but in the dark. It's almost like the lights are off. But there's been this aspiration, there's been this effort that's been made, but in the dark. And it's almost realizing, right, that this regimented sort of growth and progress that is like, yes, growth, but it's like in the dark. Right? I get like in a room. Is really boundless, is really dynamic, is really otherworldly. Okay, so it's almost like perhaps in the past you tried to make movement in a certain way. You tried to establish a foundation in a certain way as it pertains to this transformation you want to make. But you realize that something needs to change about how I see myself in relation to my environment. Okay. And how I perceive, right, that whole process. And realizing that I'm in control of it. I'm in control of it. I'm the conductor of this magic. And I can't be fixed, right? If I want to create. Creation is dynamic. Creation is spontaneous, honest, true, impulsive even. as we see very much with the Three of Wands and the Mother of Cups. So you're taking that pen and that paper, and you're starting to write your lines, your own lines, Scorpio, of how you want the script to go. And there's a revision, okay, of a process of some sort as it pertains to the deep past. Okay, and there's a freedom here. There's a freedom here for you. There's a new beginning. It's one that you've waited for so very long, Scorpio. And you are so beyond ready, okay, to set the past aside. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. 6, 5, realizing that it was unfruitful. Whatever this sort of process, okay, of establishing roots of whatever it is that you want to create has been or was. You realize the growth of that, right, was not fruitful. That's not how I want to raise this plant. That's not how I want to grow, right, my garden. It needs a nurturing that is so much more real, so much more deep, right? Water, Mother of Cups, nurturing energy, emotional energy. And it needs an imagination. Right? It needs action, implementation. So, I will also say to Scorpio, intuitively, you have known what you've wanted to bring about. Okay, you've had an intuitive knowing of even perhaps vision. Like, I know that one day, right, eventually, what I desire, what I've been waiting for to bring about, will come about. I understand that it's by way of aligning with my intuition. And I now, right, I'm getting very real with how, right, my intellectual mind in some capacity has overridden the alliance that I have with my intuition. And I'm going to uproot that and confront that and realize the potential that lies so very much in my own hands. So, Scorpio, I feel that this change is coming. You're right. It's this internalization and this externalization at the same time of energies that brings this wave to its peak. Oh my goodness! Let's see what happens in the midway reading. I'll have that out for you in a few days. I'm hoping a few days, maximum a week. All right. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see how the cycle flows through for you. And I highly recommend you to check out your ascendant, rising, or moon sign as well, as oftentimes that will resonate perhaps even more than your sun sign. Okay, I know that I resonate a lot with my moon, even more than my sun. So it doesn't hurt to check it out. If you don't know your sign, so you can click the link below in the description box that I provide, and that will compute your signs for you. Again, thank you so very much, Scorpio, for tuning in, and I hope you have a beautiful full moon in your own sign there. All right, bye.